Hi, I'm Erin. Welcome to my beautiful unschool life, the YouTube channel where I show you what it looks like to learn how to do new things. I showed you while I learned how to build my own house. I'm showing you while I learn how to grow my own food, and I'm showing you while I learn how to homeschool my children. This year, for the first time, I am posting videos in real time as things happen. So this week, we are getting ready for baby chickens. Check it out. It's like 17 degrees today, but rainy. So I'm working inside the shed. I am taking this old mink cage and I am modifying it to be a brooder pen for our chicks this spring. Now, most people when they're making a brooder pen, they're just making a place for babies. We don't have an incubator. We don't hatch our own eggs. We let our silky mamas hatch all of our eggs for us. So my brooder pen is a little bit different than most people's brooder pens. So this 10-foot cage is divided into 8 sections. It's a mink cage, but I'm breaking it into 3 different sections, so 3 different mamas can be broody at the same time. So what I'm doing is I am knocking a hole in the dividers here. So I've cut this open with the Dremel tool, and I'm gonna have to remove these rings here to get it off. So this section here will be her nesting box. I'll fill it with lots of straw, and I'll enclose the back and the front walls so that she's sheltered from the elements. So that's going to be a fully enclosed section. And then this will be open and this will be open, and that's where we'll keep their food and water. And when the babies are born, they can run around in all 3 sections. And then when they're old enough to go out with the whole flock, which is usually only a few days. They're usually ready to run with the flock when they're just a few days old. But I might wait a little bit longer depending on what babies they are and what weather there is. This gives me more control over the situation than I had before when the mamas were brooding just in the chicken coop. These holes on the side here, I'm going to cover up that one with wire and cover up that one with wire. And this one here, I cut it a little bit bigger so that it's big enough for the chicken mama to fit through it. And so what I'll do is I'll put some sort of like a ramp here that covers it up, that can go up and down when the babies are ready to go out into the world. That will open up. So right now I'm working with my Dremel tool to open up the dividers. So if I'm going to be all about being honest about what it really looks like, so we have a shed, and it's basically our only outdoor storage space, and both Dawn and I hate to let things go to waste, so the shed is full of stuff. So I needed to get to my 1-inch hardware cloth, and in order to get to my 1-inch hardware cloth, I had to make my way past the maple syrup buckets and the Volkswagen Jetta doors, past the electric chicken fencing and the go-kart. I had to climb over the pile of used lumber and dig under the pile of used tarps and tiptoe past the used oil and the bowling ball, and then I was able to get to my 1-inch hardware cloth. And that is what it really looks like to have a homestead. These are called hog rings, and these are called hog pliers. Hog ring pliers. I'm using used ones because I had to pull them all off of this, so I have loads of used ones, which means it's a pain in the butt. Anytime you use used things, it's harder. And then of course, people who have less money use used things and have crappier tools, and then they have a harder time doing things. I'm getting good at it. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice and tight. So I decided that I actually want to take this divider out so that they have their nesting box and then a big run, mainly just because I want this plastic. So I just spent the last 20 minutes pulling all the hog rings out, and now this should just come out. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, so now I'm gonna cut this piece of plastic to make a wall for the nesting box area. So I'm gonna need like 5 more pieces of that plastic to finish the cage. So I'm gonna steal them from this cage. This cage was a rabbit grow out pen. So when my rabbits are big enough that they don't need to be with their mama, but not big enough to process for the freezer, we put them in something called a grow out cage. And so this is just one of these mink cages split into 2. You're looking at the bottom right now and it's full of poo. So that's why it's so disgusting. This is one of those mink cages split into 2, one side for girls and one side for boys. I don't like the way I did it anyways, because I kind of got a bit lazy and all I did was just fold the white pieces over to cover up these holes, but it meant that the rabbits couldn't see anything. It gave them an entire wall that was blind. So I'm gonna pull these off and use these for the project I'm working on right now. And when I need a rabbit brooder cage, I will cover these properly with wire like I'm supposed to, so that they're nicer cages for the rabbits. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Hooray! I have let the ducks out for the first time this season, and they're so happy. They're making so much noise, and they're running all over the place. But this is my new duck and his girl, and they're not quite sure about this. They've only really ever... They were in the garden when they first got here for a little while, but they're not quite sure about this whole free-ranging thing. They haven't done it on my farm yet. So you can see he's thinking about it, but he's just not quite sure. But they don't have any hesitations at all. They are happy as a duck in poo. Okay, I'm getting close. And I'm getting cold. It's really damp. Funny how quickly I adjusted to 17 degrees and decided it wasn't warm enough. Okay, so I am almost there. 2 nesting boxes all ready to go. This center section is just a 2 section, so technically I can make that into a 3rd brooder box, but I'm not really concerned about having 3 right now. I really only need 2 right now. So I'm just gonna set this one up and that one up. So the final step is this wire is 1-inch square wire, which is a nice heavy gauge, and it keeps rats from chewing into it, but those holes are going to be too big for the chicken's feet. It's going to hurt the mama's feet, and the babies are just going to fall right through it. So, well, their feet will fall right through it, their heads won't. So I am putting this 1/2-inch hardware cloth on the bottom. That is the final step. And when that is done, then I can go inside. Okay, so now I need to put the wire inside, which is the most horrible job ever, because the wire has all these sharp bits that stab me constantly, so I have to wear gloves for it. I've done this quite a few times because I've made quite a few rabbit cages. Okay, so first I gotta roll it really tight because I need to be able to squeeze it in through this hole down here. So the problem is it's so sharp and it wants to unroll. And it's really easy to catch your fingers in it. Alright, see if it works. I cut it much smaller this time. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that was easier. Cool. So now I just need to use the hog rings to attach it down, which is tedious and painful and frustrating. 1:20 to go. So last weekend we processed 2 of our roosters because, well, one of them we didn't need, and the other one, it turned out he wasn't really a purebred. So we're gonna try and breed an actual purebred blue egg laying rooster. But that means that my darling penguin is now the only rooster with the main flock. The Copper Moran's rooster is in the ducks section with his Copper Moran's hens, and they can't cross over. So Penguin is back to being the most important man in the flock, and he is just the happiest. He's such a cheerful boy. He feels important again. Okay, we're a week later. Dawn and I managed to get the cage in here, and we want to put the silkies in here tonight, so I need to finish getting it ready. So I managed to get, Rocky! I managed to get this one door on. So it's got wire looped at the bottom, and then at the top, these parts here can open, and then I can pop it down, and then it makes a little ramp for them to come in and out. So this one is ready to go. I just need to do 2 more. First, I'm gonna put Silky Mamas in here on blue eggs. They're gonna sit on those blue eggs for 21 days. The same day that those blue eggs hatch, we will be picking turkey babies up and meat chicken babies up. So turkey babies will go under the Silky Mamas who are hatching the blue eggs. So they will have baby chickens and baby turkeys to raise. And then the meat chickens, I'm gonna put in the center compartment. We're only getting 12 meat chickens this year. So one side will be big enough for them for about a week. We'll open it up to the other side for about another week. And then once they're grown past that, then we can open them up to this whole room, and they can have this whole room until they're ready to go outside. And hopefully by then we will have the chicken tractor finished, and we will be able to raise them on grass this year. Fingers crossed. I can't really cross my fingers when they're in these gloves. There you go, fingers crossed. So I have 2 different missions with this project. One is we want to have some turkeys. Now turkeys can be quite fragile. They die really easily. I'm getting heritage breeds, so they're a little bit hardier than the broad-breasted ones, which are the ones that are bred to fatten up really quickly. So they shouldn't be quite as sensitive, but they do better if they're raised by a mom. And my silkies are great moms. So I can get the silkies to raise day-old turkeys if they believe that the day-old turkeys are theirs, which they will believe if those turkeys show up on the same day as the eggs hatch. The second mission that I'm on is that I have been on a mission for about a year to have more blue egg-laying chickens. Last spring I bought a half a dozen baby day-old Americanas, and only 2 of them turned out to be hens, and they're not purebred, so the color of their blue is a little bit washed out. They're still pretty, but then in the fall I hatched some of their eggs, cross-backed to another partial Americana rooster, and those eggs hatched, but every single one of the hens passed away. All we have left from that group is one little rooster, who is now starting to behave like a rooster now that we cleared out all of our other roosters. So I really like to have a pack of pretty multicolored eggs. It's not the most economically wise decision. Rainbow egg layers don't lay every day. They only lay maybe 2, 3, 4 eggs a week if you're lucky. So it costs me more money to sell a carton of rainbow eggs than it would to sell a carton of regular brown eggs, because those hens have been bred to lay every single day. They give you at least 300 eggs a year. But I can't do anything the most economically efficient way. I have to do things the most beautiful way, because that's what brings me joy. So my mission is to have more blue eggs in my cartons. So hopefully These are my new feeders. Food and water on this side. Some straw for the nesting box. And I can't find my other mason jar feeder. I might have to buy one. And a nesting box. Now all I need is to go get myself a couple of broody hens and some eggs. We have a winner. This is one of my pokies. She's a real pretty girl. She's never been a mama before. We'll see how she does. Rocky, get out of here. It's not difficult to find broody hens. I've got quite a lot of silkies, and silkies go broody like that. You leave an egg unattended for more than 20 minutes, a silkie's gonna go broody on it. This silkie here, her name is Frizzle. She's been broody for like 3 weeks now, but today she's not in the nest, so I'm not gonna bother with her. She's too hard to catch, and maybe she's done being broody. This fluffy white one and this gray one, she's been broody for a little while too, so I think I'm gonna take the gray one because I know she's committed. She's another pokey, and she's also a first timer. She was just hatched last year. I can't say it's really risky having first timers on my nests because honestly I've had so much success with the silkies and the pokies. They're great moms. That's where they thrive. See, she's all ready. I put one egg in there just for now. Rocky, out! Right, honey, there you go. Mamas, make yourselves a home. I'm gonna get this dog out of here. You troublemaker. 5 hours later, and she's sitting. We just went and got our blue eggs, so you can see a blue egg poking out from under her. So she's decided she's gonna sit. She, however, is not sitting on the nest. She's just sitting out there on the wire. So I brought a backup chicken. I find when my silkies are broody, they tag team anyway. Like there'll be 2 hens sitting on the same nest, so can't hurt. So go on, ladies. Have a sit. She doesn't seem very impressed with me. So Frizzle Silky went back to her nest, so I'm gonna add her to the pile. She's in. Hopefully these 2 can share nicely. These 2 are both on the nest. Good girls. I'll be back to turn off the light in a couple minutes. Just get yourself settled, Frizzle. Get yourself oriented. I know it's an injustice, I'm sorry. Happens next. Frozen?
Out of the way, everybody!
they'll do this when they're nesting, when they're about to have babies and they're building a nice cozy place. So I don't know why on earth Basil's doing it. And she doesn't look like she's taking it anywhere. She's just holding a bundle of straw in her mouth. That's weird. Want to check under this mama here? Hi. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. I know I'm so mean. So 1, 2, 3, 4 little tiny blue eggs. These came from lavender colored Americanas. And then there's a copper Moran egg under her. Sorry, honey. You can have your eggs back. Didn't mean to ruin your day. All right, now let's check over here. Once again, we're having a fight over who gets to sit on the nest. All right, honey. So this is what a lavender, this color is lavender. Yeah, there's one silky egg, so we want to take that one out. And so these are also Americana eggs, but I'm not sure what color they are. Maybe a buff color. And then this is a copper Moran Easter egger, like olive egger. All right, there you go, honey. You can go back on your eggs. There you go, sweetheart. There you go. So one egg. Thanks, Abby. Good job, baby. It's kind of a boring existence, being a broody hen. They just sit there all day, every day, day and night, for 3 weeks. But those eggs should hatch on April 14th. Baby turkeys arrive on April 15th. And then spring will really be here. And that's it. That's all for today. This upcoming week, everything I need to do is outside, and it's supposed to be raining almost the whole week. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to be up to next week. Fingers crossed that they're wrong about the weather and we actually have some sunshine, because my to-do list is very, very long and it's starting to worry me. Take care. Thanks for joining me. It's always so good to have you here. Until next time.